Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels, and I'm finally doing the Try a Chapter tag. Now, spoke to the lovely Charlie from Charlie Brook, and she said, you guys aren't going to want to watch me reading. And trust me, it took a lot longer to read a chapter from each of these books than I thought it was going to do. But one of the purposes of me doing this Try a Chapter tag is to try and get me to read one of the books that I've had on my shelves for a while, and sort of try them, because sometimes they're on the shelves and they scare me. So the one that I'll show you all of these books, and at the end I will tell you which one I've chosen to read in March, and there's some other news for some of the other ones, but it has really helped. Now, I've loved watching Nicole. I think she was the person I loved watching. I remember watching quite a lot of her doing the Try a Chapter tag, and she's quite inspirational with this, and a few other people have said try it. So there are 5 books that I've done the Try a Chapter tag on. The first one is called The Help, which I know lots of you know about. Then it's The Ghost Tree by Barbara Erskine. The next one is The Hidden Cottage, which I'll show you shortly. It's a chick lit book. I bought it in Waterstones in W.H. Smith when it was on sale because it looked pretty. Then it was Ordinary People, which again has gone around, which went around BookTube quite a lot last year. So I went with the BookTube hype. And yeah, you'll find out what I think about that in a minute. And then finally there's the Silver Lining Playbook. I bought that with Charlie on my birthday last year. It was one of the presents that Charlie bought me. The Help was also bought the same day, and The Ghost Tree was bought out of my birthday money. So you can tell these guys, my birthday is in March, so these books have been on my shelf for quite a long time. So yeah, the Silver Linings Playbook, Charlie spoke about it, and I think I saw Abby from Abby Mac Reads. She's doing it on wants to do it on the Rereadathon. And I will link at something, I will explain something more about that when I get to that book, but that's the last one. So anyway, let's stop all this rambling. You guys know me too well. The first book I read was The Help. This is by Catherine Stockett. It's set in 1962 in Jackson, Mississippi. And it's entered a vanished world in that, with black maids raise white children but aren't trusted not to steal their silver. There's A-B... I can't say it. I'm no good at this. It's spelled A-I-B-I-L-E-E-N. Please, guys, tell me how I say this. Raising her 17th white child, nursing her the hurt caused by her own son's death, Minnie. Looking after because of her own son's tragic death. Minnie, whose cooking is nearly as sassy as her tongue, and white Miss Skeeter come from college. Who wants to know why a beloved maid has disappeared? Okay, so this is intriguing. This is the back of the book. But from what I read, my first chapter was about the lady, Abby, I can't say her name, who is the black slave looking after the white daughter. And the white girl sort of... I get the impression that she's literally taken this baby from her mum when her mother was born. And literally, I think she is almost raising her. That's the impression I get from sort of the lady's mum. The mum of this baby is sort of, the white mum is sort of almost disowned, doesn't want anything to do with the baby. So it's actually the black lady that's actually looking after her. The first chapter is really about that, and it's about the fact, it mentions about the fact that her son has died in an accident, and she's grieving. You briefly meet Minnie, and you briefly meet Miss Skeeter. Charlie said that I would like this. I think she said that it was really good. I know that Verna from Verna's Bookish Adventures, she's read this and liked it. It was all right. It's not as good as I would hoped. I don't know. It's nothing that's jumping out at me at the moment. But so the Try a Chapter with this was helpful because I've read a bit more of it. I'm not as scared and I know a bit more about the book. But you'll find out if I've rated it well enough. Now this one, The Ghost Tree by Barbara Erskine. I think Catherine from Jane Catherine Reads has read the Barbara Erskine book. I'm pretty sure I remember her reading this last year. I picked this up in Waterstones for my birthday last year with my voucher from work. Charlie, I think, recommended it because... And it looks intriguing. According to when I looked on Goodreads, it's historical fiction, but it's got a bit of paranormal in it. Now, the first chapter was short. It was set in... There's 2 timelines we've got, I believe. One in 1760 and then one in the present time. We start off with a prologue, and it's about like listening to your heart and listening... But beware of the secrets of your family history. Now, the back of it says, left rootless by the death of her estranged father, Ruth must tackle the daunting task of sorting through his possessions. Amidst the dust of her own life, she discovers a diary written by her ancestor, Thomas. Now, Thomas is the one in the first chapter in 1760. He is the one that is a little boy in this chapter, and you sort of hear about him seeing a death from someone, and he goes out of the house that he shouldn't have done. He's only 10, and he sees someone getting killed, and he sees the ghost of this guy rising up. Now, I'm guessing that's to do with the paranormal bit of this book. Soon, Ruth is pulled into a story she can't escape. Thomas is a boy with a peculiar gift who takes an extraordinary path to power. But Ruth has opened a dangerous door to the past, and an uninvited ghost is about to walk through it. There are ghosts in everyone's past, everyone has secrets. This looks a little bit scary, but I really liked it. I don't know why I'm liking it. It scares me a bit because it's nearly 600 pages. Yeah, it's pretty much 600 pages. There's something about this one. I'm intrigued. I like the first chapters. I like the way the chapters break. I like the 2 different timelines. I don't know how it's going to interlink, but it's certainly reading the chapter of this has made me want to read it a lot more than I thought I would. I wasn't sure about this, but definitely that's something that's got to me. Now the next one is The Hidden Cottage. I bought this because when I was back in the old girly days when I was already into my chick lit, and I liked The Hidden Cottage. I like the idea of a cottage. I like the idea of like the countryside and all things like that. I've always imagined, I don't necessarily want to go to a beach, live in a beach when I'm old and decrepit and everything else. I want to have my own cottage somewhere in the countryside and have apple trees and be all country-y. Although I'm crap at gardening, so I don't know how that's going to work. But yeah, that was the reason why I picked this up, that chick lit in me. On the blurb at the back it says, Maya Channing appeared to have an enviable life, a beautiful home in the village of Little Pelham, a happy stable marriage, a job she enjoys, and 3 grown-up children to whom she's devoted. But appearances are deceiving, and the truth is it's all precarious at balancing act. As a mum, I know about the balancing act thing. When her family gather for her son's 30th, Daisy, her youngest, drops a bombshell in a way that only Daisy can. Once again, Mia finds herself cast into the role of peacemaker. It's a role she's tired of, particularly since her husband refuses to believe he was responsible for the problems they're facing. Not surprisingly, Mia longs to escape. But the first chapter is based on the other main character, which is called Owen Fletcher, who's buying the cottage of the hidden cottage. Was a fulfilment of a lifelong dream, which provides this perfect escape for him. When Mia meets him, she must decide whether she has the courage to do something for herself for a change. And if she does, can she ever go back on the compromise she had before? The chapter I read, the first chapter, was about Owen Fletcher. Basically, he is driving into Little Pelham to buy this cottage. He sees it's like the country, the family atmosphere. He's got this modern car. He used to live there as a child, and he left there when he was 10 years old. But he wants to go back and claim the life he had. So something happened in his past. I'm intrigued as to how that's going to be acted. I think it's about sort of older characters. The fact that this late Mia's got 30-year-old children means I'm guessing she's in her 60s. Not that that's old, by the way. I'm not counting anything as old anymore. But this is intriguing. I'm not 100% not excited, desperate to read it, but I think it might be a good, cosy read. But I think it might be the whole countryside thing makes me want to read it in spring a bit. I'm not sure. And I'm not piling these up very well, so God knows I'm going to sort them out afterwards. Now, the next one is The Ordinary People by Diana Evans. I believe this got Big Cheap hype last year. I believe that it got an award, although I can't remember what it did, if it did or not. You guys remember. There was that and there was Normal People. Now, Normal People I hated by Sally Rooney. I absolutely hated it. But this one was on the same sort of lines. I picked it up for an offer at Tesco's. It's kind of like a contemporary chicky litty. 2 couples are finding themselves in the moment of reckoning. Melissa has a new baby and doesn't want it to let it change her. Damien has lost his father and intends not to let it get in the way of him. Michael is in love with Melissa but can't be strong enough to stop her from saying the baseball. Stephanie wants to live a normal, happy life in the commuter belt with Damien and their 3 children, but his bereavement gets in the way. Now, the first chapter is set around Melissa, I believe, and Melissa and that couple, and she's pregnant at the start of the chapter, and obviously it leads on to her having the baby. She's safe to say, I'm not really giving spoilers, but she has the baby, but something changes her in it. So she changes when she has this baby. I think labour changes a lot of women, especially if they've had a traumatic labour, which I kind of get the impression she has. And the second chapter is about Damien. Again, this is intriguing. about sort of fidelity, about grief and how it changed us, about becoming a mum. Don't know if it's a bit close to home with the whole bad labour thing, and I'm still, even 4 years after my son and daughter's having them, it still puts me off a little bit. Fidelity is something I struggle with, because although I'm very faithful and is my partner, I've seen it happen too many times about infidelity, and that to me is something that I'm not quite ready for. I don't think I'm in the mood for this right now, probably. Your own decision in the next. Now the next one is The Silver Lining Playbook by Matthew Quick. Now, I didn't realise that this is a mental health book. Any ideas about what this might be read? But it's about my sister Charlie picked this up for me again. This was a birthday thing last year. So imagine if your life is directed by God, a rom-com obviously completed with a happy ever after ending. For the credit roll, there will of course be tears, tantrums, and misunderstandings. But you know you'll get your girl in the end, and that's Pat's world. Pat believes in silver linings. He believes that everything will become all right in the end. But we start this off when he's living sort of in a mental health place. I believe it looks like it's set in America, and it looks like at the start of this, Pat's getting brought back home by his mum. But it looks like he's had some sort of breakdown, something to do with his ex-wife. But he believes in happily ever after. I like the fact that in this chapter he mentions The Great Gatsby, which I've only just read. Any relations to books inside books gets me interested. It's intriguing. I definitely want to read it more now than I did before. But now shall I talk to you about what I'm going to do? So the first chapter of that was quite good. Like I said, it made it in. And this tag has certainly helped me. But what I've decided is, number one, I'm going to read this for the Mental Health-a-thon. Abby, if you're watching this, I will obviously link you and link her channel below. I'm going to read this for the Mental Health-a-thon. Nicole, can you please remind me when that's going to be? Because that's going to be saved for that. It's mental health literature. It's going to be saved for that. Ordinary People, I don't know when this is going to be read. It's going to go back on the shelves. I will probably get to it. I need to get it off my shelves, so... But again, it's still not been a priority. The Hidden Cottage, that is going to be read when it warms up in the summer, I think. I think that's going to be a summer read, because that looks like a summer read. The Help is going to be read in April. I need to go and put that in my notebooks, that it will be read in April. I need to read it soon, but it's not jumping out at me enough to read it in March. So, last but not least, the one that I've pretty much dropped enough hints about, even though this is chunky, I want to read this in March. This one. This has got historical fiction, which you guys know I absolutely love. The fact that it's got a bit of paranormal interests me a bit. I'm kind of intrigued. I'm not really into ghosts. I don't really believe in that because of my Christian faith. But this looks exciting. There was something about these chapters. These chapters were short enough to jump out at me and to make me want to pick up this book. So guys, this is one, the Trilo chapter tag. And I'm going to put it on my files. This tag video certainly helped me. I think I'm going to need to do it soon. But guys, I want you guys to try it. If you've not done this try chapter tag, do it. Charlotte from Books and Bargains, I'm going to tag you in this because I think it will help you get through your books when you're a bit better. I'm also going to tag Simone. I think you've done it, but I think you should do it again because you've just moved house. So I think you should do it. And then lastly, I don't know if you're going to do this, but this is kind of a mention your name, mention your channel, shout about you. Charlie from Charles Heathcote, I'm going to tag you. You tag me in loads, I'm going to tag you. I want to see if you can do this and see what you would think. So, I'm going to put a little note down at the bottom on who I've tagged. But if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.